You're on the Bible Forum. It's Sunday night, last Sunday in March, at the height of the plague, the coronavirus plague. I'm going to talk to you about something called mismanagement. Is it mismanagement or is it deliberate irresponsibility? We're going to go down to Washington, D.C. In a 47-47 vote, Senate Democrats blocked a critical $2 trillion coronavirus economic relief package last Sunday. The move sent futures markets plummeting by over 5%. According to the Washington Examiner, the Democrats have stalled the plan to pass the bill by Monday and send it to the House for a vote. Speaker McConnell also noted that Democrats would not have been disadvantaged had they allowed the bill to proceed in its current form, and further negotiations would have still been possible. He said if this vote had succeeded, it would have required potentially 30 more hours of discussion, during which negotiations could go on as long as they would like. The bill would have passed almost a week earlier. So why did the Democrats block the bill? Well, apparently they wanted to add on to the bill several non-emergency items. They wanted these items passed, items they haven't been able to get passed with the Republican Senate. And this is called politics. Only in this case, they were playing with our lives. Like what? Well, like election security funding, secure student loan debt forgiveness, and a host of other issues. Additionally, Nancy Pelosi said House Democrats would move forward with their own coronavirus relief package, $35 million to the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts in Washington, D.C., according to Fox News. An additional $35 million to remain available until September 30th, 2021 for operations and maintenance, including employee compensation and benefits, grants, contracts, payments for rent or utilities, fees for artists or performers, information technology, and other what are called administrative expenses. Asked by CNN's Dana Bash, where do you stand and what's your message to the president about the time frame? What should lead, the economy or the health care? Speaker Pelosi said our economy will thrive when our people are well and able to go back to work in groups and our children can go back to school. There was a uniform expression of duh. Bash asked, but central to all of this is stopping the spread of the disease of the coronavirus. It's central to that, right? Pelosi said, so I don't have time to follow people's tweets, Twitters, whatever. So don't expect me to comment on them. Ms. Bash went on to say, well, even beyond Twitter, the President of the United States is saying that he could open it up. Pelosi interrupted, saying, I don't care. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I think the cure is the biggest message of hope that's out there. We have the best minds of the country, 24/7, all hands on deck, trying to find a path here. And that is what will be the light at the end of the tunnel. What the president is suggesting, she said, is that the light at the end of the tunnel could be a train coming at us if people are out and about in a way that spreads the disease further. Conclusion? Apparently Pelosi's not a fan of this shutdown. She believes spending more money on social programs will be the solution to all our problems, including the disease. On the other side, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, a Republican, said the Democrats won't let us fund hospitals or save small businesses unless they get to dust off the Green New Deal. One Democrat demand was for a new emissions standard for airlines, which led Senator Ted Cruz from Texas to thunder from the Senate floor, what do the emission standards on airplanes have to do with thousands of people dying and millions out of work in the coronavirus epidemic? He pointed out repeatedly that the 47-47 vote wasn't to pass the bill itself, but to consider the bill. 5 Republican senators were not on the floor for the procedural vote. Senator Rand Paul, who tested positive for coronavirus the Sunday before. Utah Senators Mike Lee and Mitt Romney, both Republicans, self-quarantining after spending time with Paul over the weekend. Senators Cory Gardner from Colorado, Rick Scott from Florida were already in self-quarantine. With them, Cruz insisted this bill would have passed days ago. Fox News added that the next page of the House Democrats' bill allots $300 million to the National Endowment of Arts, another $300 million to the National Endowment of Humanities, $100 million to NASA, and $278 million to the IRS. And all of this to battle the virus? Ben Domenech, publisher of Federalist, tweeted, "People are dying and Dems do this." It's literally the definition of evil. We are in an unprecedented crisis, and we're funneling money to our friends, giving extra money to fund places that can pack in dense crowds of people. These people should never be trusted with power again. But not to worry. Surely some brave journalist will ask her about this and hold her accountable. Not. Representative Dan Crenshaw from Texas, a Republican, believes that Americans need to be made aware of why Democrats are killing the COVID-19 emergency relief package. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's the guy with the eye patch. He said this bill was negotiated in good faith. I've been monitoring its progress all week. It can save our economy. And they killed it. Why? Simply out of spite and bitterness. Journalist Rachel Bovard shared the original tweet pointing out other items included the elimination of USPS debt, corporate board diversity, early voting, same-day registration, federal employees and collective bargaining in official time, a carbon offsetting program, improved consumer access to flight-related greenhouse gas emission reports, an expansion of minority banks and minority credit unions, diversity and inclusion initiatives, a whopping $35 million for the Kennedy Center, and more. And, as you might expect, several states and counties have been implementing early release of prisoners, a strategy to prevent the spread of this coronavirus. Critics of the jailbreak have argued that releasing criminals back onto the streets during the pandemic will not make communities safer, but put the public more at risk, especially as law enforcement simultaneously loosens its grip. But what do they know? And by the way, where's their compassion? Well, I would suggest to you it's in Utah, where a man was released from a halfway house early over concerns of the COVID-19. The man promptly broke into a woman's home, attempted to rob her at knife point, threatening to kill her if she didn't cooperate. He tied her up with shoelaces, demanding she give him her car, cash, bank cards, and PIN numbers, allegedly threatening to return and kill her if she gave him the wrong numbers. So what happened? What happened was her son, who was sleeping in another room, ran downstairs and called the police. The thief was officially charged with first-degree felonies, aggravated burglary, aggravated robbery, along with third-degree felonies of aggravated kidnapping, possession of a weapon by a restricted person, and drug possession. My guess is they got out the book to see what all they could pile on to this guy. So much for compassion in the face of an epidemic. Don't liberals know yet that they're dealing with criminals? Criminals don't think like normal people. Criminals are basically selfish opportunists. It's all about them. They have no respect for personal property unless it's theirs. They have no social no moral limitations. It's about them. You got it, I need it, I take it. And you can't fix stupid. But you can control it. You can put it in jail and keep it there. Maybe they'll learn. Nah.